Joined now by former International Development Secretary Justine Greening. Hello to you, Justine. Always great to see you. Perhaps you're not that happy about talking to us this morning because of the decision by the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister alone to get rid of DfID.
Well, I think I've always recognised that there are arguments on both sides of this story. I do think that people can maybe understand the debate, but what they won't understand is why on earth it's a priority to have this debate now when we have schools still closed, children out of school, 1 million young people who are going to be entering the jobs market with very uncertain prospects in the summer, 9 million people furloughed at the moment, many of whom will face unemployment. I think for me, the real priority for the Prime Minister and for government is to focus on that. And indeed, we saw a U-turn yesterday on free school meal vouchers, which I very much welcomed. But I think what it shows is that the government needs to get on top of what it's already got on its plate. And I couldn't understand actually why Boris Johnson and the government were loading more tasks to get on with rather than actually making sure they were delivering on the very important issues that I've just talked about that really will make a difference to people watching your news today, Kay, and are really the things that they're probably most worried about in terms of the months ahead.
How much sympathy have you got with the Prime Minister? You know, I know that 4 previous Prime Ministers are criticising his decision, but just furlough at home is costing £100 billion. He's not got a lot of money, although we are being told that the money that goes to DfID is being ring-fenced and will be incorporated within the Foreign Office budget.
I think the other part of this was it wasn't clear to me what the strategy is. So if it was about a cash point in the sky, well, that's obviously staying exactly where it is and it'll still be doling out cash. If it was about value for money on aid spend, which is always a debate, then actually there's no need to reorganise departments. The smart thing to do is just simply spend it better in the way that the Prime Minister thinks would be smarter. But I think all of this seems to be a secondary priority to the very grave challenges that Britain faces at home right now. And I'm somebody who went through the state system on education. My dad spent a year unemployed in the 80s. You know, we've got kids out of school, we've got people facing unemployment. Those are the issues that this government needs to be completely focused on. And I think that's got to be the priority for Boris Johnson. This is a government that shut down the economy to help save lives on coronavirus, but it now has to come up with a recovery plan for jobs in the economy if we're going to avoid a very, very deep recession. We've been shut down now for 3 months. It's nearly 3 months since the lockdown began. People want to know what the plan is to protect jobs going forward, especially after the furlough scheme ends. And they also want to know what the plan is for levelling up Britain, which I know Boris Johnson and many Conservative MPs are rightly passionate about, as I am. But right now, we don't understand how this government plans to deliver on that crucial part of its agenda. That's what will really make a difference to people around our country. And that's where I think the government should be focusing its efforts.
Talk to me about Marcus Rashford quickly, if you would. What a superstar he is, eh?
I think he did an incredible job of raising this issue from one last week and the week before that had really been debated but hadn't got enough attention to putting it right on the top of the Prime Minister's to-do list. From my perspective, it was clear the government would have to U-turn on this. But I think probably in government, the post-match analysis is how come the Prime Minister was getting better advice from a Premier League footballer than his ministers and his advisers in his own government.
OK, good to talk to you. As always, come back soon. Thank you.
Thank you.